Welcome back to Bear With Me. The Boston Bruins definitely have a record, which is good enough for who cares in the Atlantic. It doesn't matter in the Eastern Conference, and low, but probably soon to be lower in the National Hockey League. My name is Joey Copponi. It's Rob Tocci. Rob, do I dare ask how you're doing?
You do not.
The show's brought to you by Prize Picks, the exclusive daily fantasy partner of the CLNS Media Network. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly when you place your first $5 lineup. And we'll see you back here next week. Wow. All right.
Yeah. All right. Well, obviously, we got to jump to the big one, because if we don't, it's just...
Trent Frederic is gone.
Mark McLaughlin is gone.
Who saw this coming?
Nobody.
Jesus, man.
But of course, we're referring to our dear captain, Brad Marchand, being dealt to division rivals, the Florida Panthers, in return for a conditional 2027 second-round pick, which
28.
can... 27, which 27? Can... Yep, you've been wrong about this for the last day, and I've been waiting for now to correct you on it. Conditional 2027 second-round pick that will turn into a 2028 first-round pick if Florida wins the first 2 rounds of the playoffs and Brad Marchand plays in at least 50% of those games.
I thought it was okay. Oh, so wait, has this updated? I thought it was 25%, and I didn't see any kind of win condition.
The reason you heard that is because Don Sweeney said that at the presser incorrectly. He got the conditions of his own trade wrong.
Wow.
I believe within the presser he corrected himself. No, I'm dead serious. He said 25%, and that was not it. Hold on, I'm going to just quadruple check. Yeah, 2027 conditional second round pick, becoming a 2028 first round pick if Florida. Yeah, exactly what I just said. Yeah. So yeah. So
it only becomes a first if they advance through the second round?
Yeah, the Panthers need to get to the Eastern Conference Final, and Marchand needs to play in at least half of the games.
They found a way to make a trade where we have to root for the Florida Panthers?
That's my biggest problem. It's not my biggest problem. It's a secondary issue I have with this trade, is that not only do you get rid of Brad Marchand for pennies on the dollar, there's a lot to that. We'll get to it.
So,
but now I have to root for the Florida Panthers to be successful in the Stanley Cup playoffs, the thing I least want to do.
So, correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
The Florida Panthers embarrass the greatest NHL team of all time on home ice.
Right,
Game
so
7.
Far. You're right so far.
End the career of Patrice Bergeron. They end the career of David Krejci.
I don't want to give him that
They
credit,
steal Brad Marchand for nothing and are making us root for them.
I feel cucked.
I feel like they took my soul. I feel like this is like dark magic.
No, that's a common complaint online right now. Just like how in a stranglehold Florida has on Boston right now. It's only getting worse every year. It just keeps getting worse. What are they going to do to us next year? They're just going to start giving all of us wet willies individually. Like, that's it. Matthew Tkachuk is going to trip me when I'm walking on the sidewalk.
Turns out Sam Adams was actually from Dunedin.
Oh,
okay.
Great.
That's
okay.
all right.
It's fine. Yeah,
I
don't even know where to begin. There's a lot to talk about off of this one thing.
Yeah. Go for it. Brad, thoughts? I want to stay on Brad for about 48 minutes.
Yeah, that's fair. I was so confident they were going to get a lot more for him.
Yeah.
Mostly because all the trade people were being like, oh, it's going to be really expensive to get Marchand out of Boston. All right, he wants to stay. The return would have to be great. Nope. Which at first I was just like, Sweeney's awful at his job. But even in that moment, I was like, it's weird because all these other trades, like Boston really seems to be winning them. Or at least they're beneficial on both sides. But I do believe Boston got the edge in most of the trades that have happened. So for it to just turn on a dime like that, and for you to get a conditional second round pick in 2027 for Brad Marchand, I'm going to keep saying it because it's Brad Marchand, was I was doubling down. I was like, no, that's not it. Like, that's the only detail we know so far. Like, that will not be everything. But it was. That was it. I think it has to mean, and I'm sorry if I'm trying to take this in the positive direction, that Brad was very much driving this. That, like, the reports are saying that, like, the Bruins offered him 2 years, $3 million each. That was not what he was looking for. Something about him wanting 3 years, and if it was only 2 years, he wanted more money. So I do think the bedrock of all of this is that the Bruins just weren't willing to pay him what he wanted. And then after that, he was like, I want to go to Florida. Like, because they didn't do it out of spite, is a tweet that I sent you and I have been leaning on. Quote saying, there isn't any part of me that doesn't think he either asked to be moved to a contender or gave his blessing to this deal. No matter where the two sides were at, Boston isn't trading Brad within the division for a second out of spite. This is from Clark Neal Lyons on Twitter.
I don't think that the only other option is that it has to be out of spite. Like, it could just be that they were unwilling to meet on terms and they said, then we're going to have to get what we can get for you because you're an injured Brad Marchand who's about to be 37, who has 2 months left on his contract, and we're not going to meet, which is probably more believable to me than this idea of, like, trade and sign. Like, that doesn't happen. It doesn't happen. It's fun to, or not fun, but it's comforting to be like, maybe they're just doing this to sign him next year.
I'm not even going to get into that because that doesn't. I don't know. If he does, happen. Awesome. But I'm not going to set myself up for that disappointment.
It's also like to get what you can for him and be unwilling to pay and still retain 50% of his salary. It's moronic. It's a moronic trade. It's moronic.
Yeah. I will say I don't think this was the maximum they could have gotten for him. Is part of it. Like, I understand. It kind of seems like it was there not a bidding war between Florida and Vegas right at the deadline? I just
this
don't
is
think
what
that's
won the bidding
I don't
war.
think that,
and they were like, yeah, that's fine.
I don't think that's what happened. I just don't.
I mean, that's what everybody was saying. Every reporter was like, Vegas is making a push for Brad. And then last second, it was like, it's Florida. Which means this offer is better than the one they were getting from Vegas. I cut you off 4 times. I'm sorry.
Yes, you did. But I do that to you all the time. I don't think this was done against Brad's will. I think Brad drove this. I think if you asked me what team Brad probably wants to go to the most, Florida probably would have been pretty high on the list.
He's not friends with those guys. Like, those are guys that, like, it's become a borderline personal. Do you remember the handshake line between him and Bennett? Like, they're not buddies.
He doesn't give it. I don't subscribe to that bullshit at all. I'm going to rant here for a second. People are like, oh my God, him and Bennett. Like, Marchand doesn't give a shit. He does not give a shit. He didn't give a shit when it was happening. All he was saying is like, it's the playoffs. We're trying to hurt each other. Like, he was like, he's already played with him. He played with him at 4 Nations. He doesn't give a shit. Yeah. He wants to win a cup. Florida has an amazing chance to win another cup. It makes perfect sense. I don't believe this was pure incompetence, and I don't believe this was spiteful. I think it kind of came down to, if we're not going to agree to terms, what works for you? And I think Brad's like, I want to go to contender. And it's like, okay, well, if that's where you're going, this is all they're going to give us for you. And I think that's more or less what it came down to. I don't think it's great. I don't feel good about it. But I think if he's not staying, he's earned the right to basically go where the fuck he wants. And he also had an eight team no trade list. Just throwing that in there. We're not doing well. Like, we're already yelling at each other. This sucks. Like, this sucks. And we're going to be grasping at it. We're going to be.
Last year, we talked about a cup. 2 years ago, we obviously talked about a cup. This year, we were like, they could be just as good, if not better.
I was so excited for this.
Now you got to get comfortable. Resetting, like a team reset, a team rebuild is also a fan reset. Like, you guys, everybody listening, you have to reset your expectations for a bit now. They're not going to magically, like, if they sign Mitch Marner in the offseason, like, they don't instantly become a contender. Like, they have to rebuild a core. This is not like they're a player away, 2 players away. They just signed 2 big free agents. Look how it went. They're a core away because they just traded 3 pieces of their core, which is minus Charlie McAvoy, the entirety of it.
Yeah, leadership is gone at this point because
it is
you have
absolutely
McAvoy
gone.
and you have Pasternak, and like, yes, they're great. Chuck will be a good captain, and Pasta is a great assistant captain and could be a good captain if it came to it. But if you look at the roster after those 2, that's it. There isn't even like, oh, maybe that guy. No, that's it. Like, no other name would you be like, oh, okay, at a pinch, yeah. Like, no, they're either like brand new or just like, no, Lorai's not going to be the captain. No, Zaka's not going to be your captain.
The entire team is McAvoy, Swayman, Pasternak, and then take your choice on Lindholm's if you want. Like I guess what they're supposed to be when they're here and when they're playing. Sorry, I called in a bomb threat to my own home.
Me too. I also called in a bomb threat to your home. I don't know if you saw me with my hands on my face a moment ago. That was me reading the lineup for the game today. By the way, we're recording this moments before they play the Lightning. This is the only time we could record. Yeah, I can't even watch the game till 10 p.m. Nobody's saying anything. It's bad, Joe. This lineup is, well, first of all, the first thing I noticed is that Poitras not in the lineup, which, okay. All right. Sure. All right. Whatever. Like, okay. Like, I wish I could pull any other reaction out of me other than, all right,
Rob. I was going to be like, man, there's going to be a lot of names I've never heard on this list. And
then the one name you might not. Go on.
That's the fucking meanest part of all of this. Go on.
All right, your top line is Geeky, Zaka, Pasternak. You know,
I know,
fine.
Yeah, those are good players.
That's fine. All that's a good line.
Yeah, it's a great second. That's a strong second line.
Second line is Kepke, Middlestat, Laterry. We're already in third to fourth line territory.
We're in like fourth line territory. Yeah.
Third line is Husnadinov, who I am excited to see play, if I'm being honest.
Whatever.
Lindholm centering Lauko. So that's where we're at. Lindholm, our $8 million centers, centering Husnadinov and Lauko.
In the G-man.
Fourth line is Beecher, Castlick, Brown. That's a fourth line. Fine with that.
Yeah.
So out of all that, I guess your first line's like that should probably be a second line, and then second and third line, like that should be nothing. That shouldn't exist. And your top defensive pairing is Nikita Zadorov and Yoki Haru. A man whose departure from Buffalo was cause for celebration among the fans. People are like, thank God I can root for a team that doesn't have Yoki Haru anymore. Which, that's good. And apparently he did request a trade out of Buffalo. Maybe it is, needs a new environment. And we also have Lorai, Peak, sure, Wotherspoon, Mitchell, whatever, Swayman. Yeah. So
I believe in this team.
I don't necessarily. That's fine. Okay. I'm going to backtrack a little bit to the last game. Who did they just play? Who did they lose to? The funniest way. It was the Hurricanes. Zadorov snapping the stick. Kane score with seconds left. Immediately lost my train of thought. Give me a moment.
I got to tell you, God's honest truth here. It's hard for me to like sit here and talk about like today's lineup or whatever. Like all I want to do is just scream and yell about what they did.
Yeah, I remember.
I just want to relish in the. I don't even really want to think about was this the right decision or the return or like what if he didn't get hurt. I don't even want to do that. I just want to be like, fuck, man. Brad Marchand's a fucking Florida Panther.
Yeah,
like that. It just shouldn't be the case. And that's like without putting any thought into it. That's just if I time traveled from 2012 to now and had to tell me that me would be absolutely correct in being like, no, Brad should retire a Bruin.
2012, dude, try it 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Try a week ago. You know what? Fuck it. Try yesterday 10 minutes before you heard the trade. When I read it, I had to double check it wasn't like a parody account of like one of the insiders.
I was producing the Bruins Beat live on the CLNS YouTube at the time. And man, kind of a blessing to just like work through it. You know what I mean? Be like, this is work, so I got to make a graphic for it. Type out Brad Marchand traded to the Florida Panthers. Okay, like I set up the graphic. It gave me some escapism. It's like in the Blair Witch when they're like, "Why you keep carrying around that stupid camera?" And she's like, "It's all I have." And then the guy takes it and he's like, "I get why you like this because like it doesn't really feel like reality when you're looking through this." It felt like work at the time.
That's fair. Yeah, it's just a layer of detachment.
Yeah, and now with it setting, waking up this morning, you nailed it. I mean, the first thing I saw this morning was the "bear with me" tweet that was like, waking up realizing yesterday actually happened.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, I'm seeing jersey swaps that are not just parodies. I'm seeing jersey swaps from like real accounts that are like, this is what Brad will look like, and it just feels wrong. I just think the Boston Bruins are an organization where, especially with the cap going up, this is just one of those things where I'm going back on what I said because I was like, hey, it makes a lot of sense to trade Brad because the market is what the market is. But if this is what Brad's market was, I have a tough time reconciling that this was the right decision versus letting him retire a Bruin, giving him a third year. You know, what is $3 million going to be in 2028 or 9? Like whatever. That 28, 20, nothing.
Be a cup of coffee.
It'll be absolutely nothing. That'll be like the veteran minimum. So I have a really hard time being like, how do you do that? Like, how does this make you better? Because you have $3 million of cap space. Like, here's what, like, you trade away the last piece of your core, the real piece of your leadership, and in return, you get a second round pick that's maybe a first round pick 2 or 3 years from now. And 3 years from now, you have an extra $3 million in cap space. That's what you get for like turning your fans on you. That's what you get for spitting in the face of a guy who's been here for 16 years. That's what you get for like flushing away the last remnant of your culture that like made you a destination. It's just really, really, I mean, disappointing is not even the word. It's fucking frustrating. It's Red Sox behavior is what it is.
It's heartbreaking. It's gut wrenching. It's all right. I had a tough day yesterday. I had a 2.5 hour commute to go 12 miles yesterday to work. Great way to start your day at 6:30. Tough day at work. I wrapping up around 3, but I knew I didn't want to be on the road at 3 because I wasn't gonna be able to, check all the things coming in at the last second. So I hung out at my desk. And I was just sitting there in disbelief for like an hour, just like reading everything about Marchand and Carlo and Coyle. I think Coyle had already broken at that point. And I came home just like totally empty, hollow. Just like I couldn't feel anything. And not even know like, this isn't really hitting me. Just stay like, I'm incapable of anything at this moment. Just leave me be. And even in that moment, I knew I was like, I'm going to wake up tomorrow and I'm going to be even more heartbroken because I'm going to have to wake up in a world for the first time where this is the reality that like Marchand is. I have personally never rooted for the Boston Bruins without Brad Marchand on the team. So I've never known the Bruins without Marchand.
Can I tell you who I feel bad for? Maybe the most in this situation.
Pastrnak.
No, he's fine. He has millions of dollars. He's fine. He's going to be playing good hockey and he's fine. He drinks beer in the Czech. He's fine. Czechia. I feel bad for some 15, 16-year-old kid out there somewhere right now who will inevitably be scrutinized at a higher level than anybody ever has in Boston Bruins history when he is eventually selected in the 2027 second round or 2028 first round. That kid is going to be the Marchand pick. And the second that he, 10 games without a goal in college, it's going to be like, are you kidding? This guy? Are you fucking kidding me? This kid? Feel bad already.
I've been thinking about that a lot. I mean, there's a lot of pressure. I will also say, I feel like there's like a 70% chance they don't even have that draft pick at that point. They got a lot.
If they traded Brad to get a pick that they then trade away, I mean, what are you going to get in return? The whole thing is that they need to rebuild from the ground up. They need to actually.
How do you do that? Like, how do you like? There's like no veterans on this team anymore. Not no veterans, but that to me, in this offseason, I want someone brought in that's like 32, 33, still viable, but like, I don't know. Just like
Tavares? You want Tavares? He's a UFA.
Dude, my buddy Joe to me earlier, he was like, oh, Marner? I'm like, no, I don't want Marner. He's like, oh, Tavares. And I was like, absolutely fucking not. I'm not paying $35 million a year to watch John Tavares back, like skate up and down the ice sometimes.
He's a UFA, so you can pay him what the market tells you to pay him.
Yeah, nothing.
But I mean, that's the kind of guy. Like, it's a brutal UFA class, and it's not a good draft this year. So
I think it is. Isn't it a pretty good draft this year?
Next year's supposed to be better. 2026 is supposed to be a better draft.
Okay, I do think this year's supposed to be pretty decent. Like top 10 is supposed to be pretty good.
From what I've seen, they say that 26 is supposed to be better, but we're also not in the top 10, and we're not going to be. So, I mean,
do
we have a first round pick next? Do we have our first round pick?
Aren't we? We're the 9th worst team in the league right now. I think we're in the top 10 right now.
Do they have their pick though?
Yeah,
they do.
I'll double check, but I'm fairly certain. Yeah, because if they didn't, why the fuck would we all like, oh, tank? There would be no point. Because
that's true.
Yeah, no, they almost certainly have their pick. I want to see if I can find like a master list of everything they have right now for upcoming picks. 2026, yeah, they have Toronto's pick, actually. That's from the Carlo trade. They also have their own, and they have their second, third, and
25
fourth
draft.
What?
This draft.
Oh, right. I'm looking at 2026. I'm sorry. You're right. Yeah. We do have our own. We have Carolina's second, St. Louis's second. We traded away our own second, and then we have our own third, and then 5th, 6th, 7th. Second was traded away for Garnet Hathaway.
Fine with that.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Every year this happens. You're like, we're like, oh, we don't have our 4th round pick because that's what we used to get Bertuzzi. Oh, okay. Like, no, let's wrap that up, I guess. But yeah, they do have their draft pick this year. I keep thinking in just life is funny kind of way, watch them just go 16-2 to end this season and get a wild card spot. And to me, that's like an almost worst case scenario. Worst case scenario is they do well enough to get out of a good pick, but then they don't make the playoffs. Yeah. Like I either like, fuck, if you want to go on a run, sure. But I have embraced this tank enough where I'm like, no, like let's keep losing. Like, let's just not. Yeah. If
they make the fucking playoffs with this team, can you imagine?
It'd be so funny, honestly. What I was thinking of earlier, and I lost my train of thought, when I was watching the Carolina game, when Carolina scored and then the goal was disallowed, I was like, fuck. Like, I wanted them to lose. Like, I was like, oh, no, they're going to win this one. And then they scored with 19 seconds left. I was like, all right, that was close. And I was like, damn, wow, it was the first time I caught myself being like, I have really genuinely moved into a headspace where I don't want them to win.
I mean, the other day or a couple weeks ago, maybe last week, there's the game. I don't even remember who it was against, but it was looking like they were going to give up a 2-goal lead in the last minute. And me and you were texting. I was like, I'm kind of rooting for it.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, at this point, like, yeah, because at that point we were like, market's hot. We want them to look bad enough that the front office sells. And they did. And here's the thing. Marchand trade, awful. F. Personally, F. Horrible trade. The Charlie Coyle trade?
Pretty good.
Like,
the rest of them have been really good. That's the thing. Like, I'm like, all right, that's a good return. Yeah, Brad, dude, very quickly, I didn't know I would react this way. I'm really happy Lauko's back. Like, it's not going to solve anything, but like, I really liked Lauko. Like, you know exactly what he's going to give you. And okay, I want to focus on this trade a little bit more because there's some here I want to talk about. It's unfortunate Braz is gone, but this season wasn't his best. Like, he was pretty impactful last year, but I think Mark Diver put it, and he was just like 13 months ago, he was on a 2-way contract in the AHL, and you just flipped him around to get someone 6 years younger or however much younger with Lauko. Husnudinov, and then a 6th-round pick. I mean, the pick is like okay.
Yeah.
But again, like with Lauko, like energy, jump, personality, locker room presence, like not necessarily leadership kind of way, but like, I don't know, like some levity. I liked Lauko. I was like, when he was traded, I was like, that sucks. But seeing him come back, I was like, oh, that's sick.
Yeah.
And Husnudinov, dude, I'm very intrigued by Husnudinov. First of all, crazy name. I had to practice spelling it. We have to come up with a nickname. Dino is what I'm leaning towards.
Dino's good. When you said I'm excited to see Dino, I was like, does he fucking mean Husnudinov?
I do mean Husnudinov. But yeah, he's a smaller guy, smaller center. He's like, what, like 5'10", 5'11", 175, something like that. But got a wicked shot, like good playmaker. He plays how small guys like need to play in the NHL, but he does it seemingly pretty well. And the first thing I tend to do when trades happen, especially with players I don't really know, is I will go to the other team posting about it and see how their fans are reacting. They were not happy. They were like, Lauko and Husnudinov have been very impactful for us. Like, we really like them. We're like, this is not a good trade. They were mad about it. And they're like, who the fuck is Brazo? Which is fair. So yeah, again, he'll be in the lineup today. They already have him on the power play on PP2. I'm intrigued. And again, like, I'm not like, we've done it. We're done. I'm looking for crumbs. Like, I'm looking for little things to keep me going. And normally I would say to watch Patra, but apparently he's not playing today. They did assign like
to what? Sorry, go.
I'll wrap this up. They did assign a bunch of players to Providence, but that's just because they need to have been on the Providence roster at a certain point to be eligible for the playoffs. And Providence is definitely making the playoffs. So they want these guys to, excuse me, they want them when the Bruins season ends, Boston Bruins season ends, that they can at least help them try to win a Calder Cup.
Another thing to watch for the rest of the year is you got to be watching your Prize Picks lineup. Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action with over 10 million members and billions of dollars in awarded winnings. Prize Picks has made daily fantasy sports accessible to all. You just pick more or less on at least 2 players for a shot to win up to 1,000 times your cash. Run your game all season long on Prize Picks. Prize Picks is the best way to get action on sports in more than 30 states, including California, Texas, and Georgia. The app is really easy to use. Create a lineup. All you have to do is pick more or less on a few player stats for your shot to win up to 1,000 times your money. The second half of the basketball season's here, and the final stretch of the hockey season as well. The race to the playoffs is heating up on Prize Picks, the best place to cash in on your favorite sports. So download the app today. Use code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That is code CLNS to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. Carlo trade, stunning.
Carlo.
That one almost like slid in under the. I think like maybe the Coyle trade is the one people are forgetting because the Brad and the Carlo ones happened boom boom, and it was like in division to your rival.
Yeah.
So like I'm glad that we touched on the Coyle one, but like in the grand scheme of like returns, obviously the Brad one is getting more attention because it's more noteworthy.
Yeah.
The Carlo return. Pretty good.
Yeah, Carlo's getting you back. Fraser Minton, who is like Toronto's like one of their top prospects. Mm-hmm. Pretty divisive online. People are like, people only think he's good because he's a Toronto prospect, so people know his name. And it's like, all right, I don't know.
Yeah.
A top 5 protected first round pick. I don't know what that means. 4th round pick in the first round pick's 2026, 4th round pick 2025, and we're retaining 15% of Carlo's contract, which is like, all right, whatever.
Sure.
I'll pay that. All just for Carlo, which, yeah, that's That's a good return.
That's one of those ones you saw the return. You were like, I get it.
You get a first, a fourth, and a prospect for Carlo. I will say, obviously, Brad is like 95% of what we're all thinking right now, if not 99. Mm-hmm. I'm sad. I'm sad Carlo's gone. I really like Carlo. Like, I get it, and I understand like where the team is, and like with the return, it makes sense. But a guy that would have been a good captain, a guy that like has been with this team his whole career and for like a really long time. Like, you forget how long Carlo's already been playing in the league. Mm. It makes me sad.
One of the longest tenured Boston athletes.
Yeah, it's like there was a photo of him at the airport with his like Boston Bruins gear bag, and it's like, fuck, damn it.
With him and with Brad gone, not that this applies to Carlo, it just applies to Brad. I was just trying to make a segue, make it sound a little bit more relevant. There is now no Boston athlete drafted in the 2000s.
What?
Like before 2010.
Oh my god.
Yeah, Brad was the last one.
I don't like that.
What I'll also say here, how different would Bruins fans feel right now if the Florida trade and the Toronto trade was bundled into one and it was looked at as like a 3-team trade? And it was like the Bruins send Brandon Carlo and Brad Marchand and receive a protected first, a conditional second, a fourth, and Frazen.
Probably would have went over better. It's just
I think we would all be like, that's good, right?
I think the optics alone of seeing the trade, what's the word I'm looking for? Decal, promo, graphic, and just seeing a 1-to-1, and it's Brad Marchand and then second round pick. That hurts. Yeah. That physically hurts to look at. You can contextualize it. You can understand it for why it happened as much as you can. But just looking at it and just thinking about it even a little bit, you're like, what? And then, of course, you can tug on the heartstrings and be like, well, that's Bergeron and Marchand gone, and Krejci, and Tuukka, and Chara. They're all gone. No one left on the 2011 team. Everybody's gone now. 5 players remaining from 2023.
Can I give you the full in and out of the trade deadline?
Yes.
Out the door, we saw Brad Marchand, Brandon Carlo, Charlie Coyle, Trent Frederic, Justin Brazeau, Max Jones.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Mark McLaughlin, a 2026 fourth, and a 2026 fifth. In the door, Middlestat, Minton, Zellers, Jokiharju, Husnudinov, Lauko, Max Warner, who I like, Misiul, a first in 2026, that conditional second for 27-28, a 2025 second, another 2025 second, a 2026 fourth, a 2025 fourth, and a 2026 sixth. When you look at the in and out next to each other, it is they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 draft picks. Two guys who are going to be in your lineup right now, 3 guys who are going to be in your lineup right now, and 1, 2, 4 guys in your lineup right now, and then 4 prospects.
Like, cumulatively, it's been good. It's just, how can you not focus on the Brad Marchand trade? That's all it comes down to.
Yeah. Obviously, I know. And the thing is, again, much like if you lump together the Marchand and Carlo trade, and I think people would feel better about it. If you just showed people this beforehand and were like, you're going to get all this.
What did it cost?
I think people would more or less be okay with it. It's just those top 3 names. You see Marchand, Carlo, Coyle, you think, oof, better have got something there. And you did. You did.
Technically.
Just him being injured is just fucking gross.
Yeah.
It kind of sucks too, because they're not going to play him. The Bruins are not going to play against Brad Marchand, which I kind of did want to see. No,
I don't know. I don't know that I want to experience what it feels like to play against Brad Marchand, just for the obvious reasons, because he's a pain in the ass and really good. Also, just I don't want to see that for my heart. Imagine Bergeron wearing like, I don't know, a Florida jersey, and
that's worse. That's way worse.
Oh my god, that's I would probably just kill everybody and then myself.
It's also like the Bruins are dead right now, so like seeing him there, it's like I don't know. It's not like, oh man, like we were right there and then this happened. I think it's like a little easier to swallow when you like playing against. It's almost like, hey, you know what? If we're gonna die, this is like a fun way to do it.
That's fair.
Yeah, the Florida Panthers saga has to end right here, though. This has to be.
It would be really funny if they just for whatever reason just dried up and just weren't good. weren't good. And we fucking cursed them with Brad Marchand. Also, he's our fucking Trojan horse into that locker room. Like just dissent everywhere. Like,
yeah,
no one's happy.
There's a B underneath.
He's just gonna spit in Paul Maurice's face every day.
I don't like that the Panthers also have the opportunity to knowingly fuck over a division rival. They can obviously be like, oh, we're not going to play Brad in 50% of these games. If they've played him in 3 of the games and it's a game 7, to be like, well, does Brad make us better? Like,
I think he still does. I think they would just be shooting themselves in the foot if they had a healthy Brad Marchand and were not playing him.
Okay, better way to put it is game 5. And, you've played him in 2 of the games to be like
keep it at 48% or some shit.
Yeah. And like, I don't know, you're up 3-1 going into a game 5. You've played him in 2 games to be like, no, fuck Boston.
No. Also Frederic's gone. That happened.
Well, sure.
Trent Frederic is in Edmonton.
Bound to happen.
Whoops. That was a 3-way trade, and we got, you pointed out Max Warner, 2nd round pick, 4th round pick. Coyle, we brushed on a little bit. Coyle and a 5th round pick went to Colorado. I think that's a good fit. I like Coyle in Colorado. He's playing Carlo tonight. And then getting Casey Middlestat, which that's like one of the, it's like, I know the name. I don't think I could tell you a lot about him, and like immediate reactions from people online whose opinions I respect are like not overly positive. They're like, the word soft keeps coming up, which like I think is just synonymous with Swedish. It's just the style of play. William Zellers has been touted as probably the best prospect out of the group, and I've been looking him up, and yeah, it's good. But I mean, he's a prospect. He's literally 18 years old, so he's playing in college for the first time next year. So unless he just like pops off in the next year and or 2, then I don't anticipate thinking about him much. It's and Yoki Haru requesting a trade and then coming to Boston. That's another name people are like, yeah, he's not great.
Yeah.
Luckily, he's our top pairing defenseman right now, so that's cool. I don't know. I think
the
maybe
new
that's
look Boston Bruins. I think you got to watch with your tongue. That I'm not done with that sentence. Don't watch them with your tongue. Watch them with your tongue firmly in your cheek. You have to just be looking for the comedy here. To be like, this is their matchup of second lines, and whatever.
This isn't. Sorry, yeah.
I don't know. Watch them get waxed a little bit. Be like, man, they suck. Ha ha ha. And because Bruins fans aren't used to that feeling of like, man, look at us, we suck, and laughing about it. And I'm not saying, hey, we should immediately, it's on you guys to immediately come to terms with it and accept it. Like, yeah, you just traded away your core. It's fucking devastating. I'm feeling it too. But it's laughing at a funeral. You have a scotch at a funeral and you talk to your uncle and he's like, oh, one time, I'm not supposed to tell you this, but one time me and the deceased, we did this and funny story. And you laugh and you whatever. That's what we got to do. We got to laugh at our pain here a little bit if you can find it in you. I'm
looking at it as
maybe that's the Irish in me. What?
I'm looking at it as an end of season preseason where I'm like, I'm not going to get too emotionally invested. Like, I'll watch and it'll be cool. But, like, because it's Bruins hockey, like, I'm never not going to want to watch. Yeah, like honestly, there's like little things. Like I'm curious how Middlestat adjusts here. I'm curious what Jokiharju looks like after the trade and playing with probably better defensemen. I'm curious how Husadinov can adjust. I'm really hoping they can play him with some of our younger, faster guys. Like imagine him and Patra together. Like that could be cool. I don't know. There's like enough little nuggets here that will sustain me until the winter of the off season, aka the summer. But it just sucks because on the other side of it, I mean, okay, they're going to have a crazy offseason, I think. I think they're going to have a particularly busy offseason. Probably right up until the draft, they're going to be pretty active. Doing what? I do not know. I imagine they're going to be up to a lot. Big question here. Big question here. New topic.
Yeah, hit me.
Does this make you more inclined or less inclined to call for Sweeney's job? This whole deadline, like, do you
I think
more so want him gone now?
It kind of feels like a futile effort. It's like kind of when Sox fans are saying like, FSG sell the team. It's like, why would they do that? I don't think that's going to happen. So like calling for it kind of feels like, I don't know, like the people doing like an interpretive dance outside of like Trump HQ. It's like, I understand the sentiment, folks. I don't know if that's going to do much, It's like calling for... I think the Marchand trade is god-awful. And unless they have a wink-wink, nod trade and sign, which I wouldn't bet on, I think it's god-awful. And it's going to be detrimental to the identity of the team.
You don't think they're giving him a hall pass for the rest of the year? You can cheat on us for a little bit if it lets you get a cup.
Yeah, go win a cup with our rival and
then come back.
See you in October. I don't think so. That's just my thought. But I mean,
he will be a one-day contract kind of retiring, no matter what. Like, I feel like that's a given.
One more contract. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, he will retire as a Bruin, even if it's a one-day contract.
Oh yeah. Oh, I thought you just meant like he will get one more contract period. Yeah.
Oh no, he's absolutely getting at least one more contract. He wants 3 more years. Like someone will give it to him.
Greedy there. I don't know if Brad Marchand's the kind of player who like works at 40 years old, but regardless, the statements put out today by Sweeney, Neely, and the Jacobs. 2 thoughts. One more relevant than the other, so I'll start with that one, I guess. In Charlie Jacobs' statement, he explicitly said that he stands by this tough decision made by blah, 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 which is the second time this year that he's publicly endorsed the front office and said that they stand by them and whatever. So I don't think that Sweeney's job is in question. The other thing I was going to say about those statements, Cam Neely, maybe... Would it kill you to write like 3 fucking sentences?
Dude, I actually almost sent it to you. I'm like, this is like the most like cut and paste. Like, I'm surprised it didn't say insert player here in brackets where Brad Marchand's name was. It was just like the most like...
He wore the crest.
I'm required to make a statement, and I will put in the bare minimum amount of effort to do so.
Neely, the longer he sticks around, dude, he's such a perfect testament to like...
a generational
if
divide.
You're beloved, stay the fuck away. Yeah. Like you earned your title, your numbers in the rafters, get the fuck away. I don't know. You stick around too long, you start to become Cam Neely's and Kurt Schilling's and, there's all sorts of player managers or player, GMs. And it's like, you want to do like the way people talk about Rod Brindamore. It's like, you could have just been beloved forever. Whatever. I guess
they need a captain too. They will get a captain. That's not what I meant to say, but McAvoy's your next captain. I think that's a done deal. It's him or Pasternak, and it's going to go him. They need a coach. They need a legitimate coach. They clearly don't have an identity now with trading away your captain and your 2 assistant captains. 2 of your assistant captains. I don't know. Like, I'm not in charge of this, so I don't know what the plan would be. But they need a legitimate NHL coach behind that bench next season. I'm still really pulling for Michael Sullivan. I do not at all know the logistics of how that would go. I really like him. I think it would be a good fit, especially with McAvoy being thrust into an even higher leadership role. I think that relationship would be good. But that's definitely on my mind because again, like it's not the issue, but I just don't like Sacco. I'm just like so because to me he's just like like you're old hat, like he's know exactly what you are. He's an interim head coach. He's like the definition of an interim head coach. He's like we got to put somebody back there.
But he's exactly the somebody when they just need somebody.
Yeah,
back
like
there.
We need a physical body behind the bench.
They need a coach. They also need NHL players. So, of almost equal importance. Real quick, we're jumping all over the place here, but I meant to bring this up earlier. Charlie Coyle this year, 64 games, 22 points. Bad. Casey Middlestat this year, 63 games, 34 points.
That's 50% more.
So, they are both minus a dozen plus. But
that's cute. I'm active. I'm watching the game right now, and every time I see 11, because Casey Middlestat has worn 37 his whole career, but it should be incredibly obvious to everybody why that would not fly in Boston, even if it's not official. Like they would not give you the number. Like not even like, hey, I don't think this is a good idea. They'd be like, no, like, you're gonna have to change it in a year anyways. So he's wearing 11. So when I see 11 out there, I'm like, oh, it's Trent. Oh no, he's gone. He's in. Yeah, he was vanished to the oil fields. And then 94 for Lauko again, 92 for Husnudinov, and 44 for someone else I'm forgetting. The free agent list this summer is pretty interesting. Some older names, nobody on there that I'm like, oh my God, yes. I will say, for no reason other than a gut reaction, I just feel like it would be a very Bruins front office move for them to sign Max Pacioretty this summer. There's something about it. There's like I was looking at this big list of the names. I look at Pacioretty. I'm like, yeah, him. That's the one. They're gonna get him. Not saying I want it. Not saying I don't want it. There's something about it that stuck out to me. This is my official prediction that the Bruins are gonna sign Max Pacioretty. I don't know why they would. I don't.
He's gonna. I
looked at it. It felt like the future Rob was like
season since really 2016.
Yeah, perfect. It was so in line. Yeah, exactly. See, Shea Weber got traded yesterday.
Shea Weber's alive?
That was my question too. I was like, you're allowed to do. We could just trade anybody, right?
Yeah, let's trade Joe Thornton.
I was just about to say, just trade Joe Thornton.
Why not?
Ehlers, Tavares, Marner, Marchand, Bennett, Duchesne, Nyquist, Nelson, Bozer, Ben, Granlund, Patrick Kane, Dodonov, Yanni Gord, Giroux, Taylor Hall, Donato, Frederic. There's a lot of names. There's a lot of names that are going to be floating around this summer. It should be an interesting offseason for everybody. We're so far away from me even having a decent idea of what I want this team to be doing. I'm still reeling from yesterday, as I'm sure we all are. Going to be a big Providence guy once the playoffs hit. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
we'll get there, but is that everything? Is there something we're missing? I think I already said this, but team confirmed there will be no captain for the rest of the year. Also,
yeah, I mean, as it should be. There's no need to do that.
No,
and everybody knows it's going to be Chuck.
Yeah, that's it too. It's like
everyone will still be mad about Marchand, which is like fair, but it sucks that like a guy doesn't get his moment. Like Marshy got his moment because it was like, yes, we know it's going to be Marshy, but also like it was still like, wow, Captain Brad Marchand, that's crazy. And it happened for the right reason. Like, Bergie retired. I just don't. The second that like they drop that video of Chuck with the C, they're going to be like, oh, you got to trade him too.
Yeah, fair.
Which like fair because they have either moved or not signed 5 of their last 6 captains.
Oh my God.
Isn't that obnoxious?
Yeah. Okay. To backpedal a little bit, we were talking about like how it's futile calling for Sweeney's job. Someone, I think it was Defumi was talking about it or retweeting something saying that the only thing that would ever lead to that, like to an actual change, would be if people stop going to the games, if people stop tuning in at the games. This is like the Jacobs family will continue to support the front office because they keep making money. And they can talk all they want about, the winning culture and like, oh, it's a Stanley Cup or bust. But like, no, like you're making millions of dollars. You don't really care. And even if you did care, you didn't care as much as you do about your income. So until it starts hurting their wallet and keeping Sweeney in is like actively losing the money, nothing's going to change.
If they cared about like the fans getting a good product, they wouldn't make the seats smaller. They wouldn't increase the beer prices. They wouldn't increase the ticket prices. They wouldn't lay off the workers during COVID and not give them any kind of severance pay.
Oh, yeah, there was that.
Like that's a separate thought. I guess that's not really related to the fan experience, but you're absolutely right. And the thing is, the Garden's going to keep selling out
because it's
Neston's going to keep benefiting from Bruins and Red Sox games. It's just what it is. It
feels like we're being taken advantage of.
Yes.
Because we are. I mean, it's not even a feeling like we just actively are being taken advantage
of. That's what, capitalism, late stage capitalism. Woo! All right. Before we get off on too much of a political tangent, which tune into Bear With We. Bear With, huh?
Bear With We.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought there might be something better there.
Oh, might have something better for fuck me. Myself.
Yeah. I just have high expectations for you. That's all.
That's your mistake.
Yeah, that one's on me. Are we wrapping?
I'm kind of scrambling at this point. I just wanted to make sure that we captured our reaction to yesterday and talked a little bit about some of the ins and outs. Literally, people coming in and coming out. I guess we'll give it a couple games and see how they're playing, and then we can evaluate like how the tank is going, or whether or not like, wow, there kind of is some life in this team, or if it's
and how
just
the new
more
kids
of
look.
The same. Yeah, and like what's going on there.
Middlestad will be here next year, so
yeah, he's still under contract.
Kuznetsov also next year?
I don't believe so.
Yeah, I think he's a rental.
God damn, that's a name to spell.
He's a roster filler.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but we'll see. Again, he's for whatever reason he's caught my eye the most.
Ty Anderson says, first thought after like 3 shifts of Kuznetsov, crafty.
Yeah, that's honestly, but even based off what I saw. Okay, you know what? Spoke to Z Twitter account, we all know him. It big Wild guy. I believe he is a scout for the Wild in some capacity. Huge on Kuznetsov. Like I'm gathering that like he's his Patra. Like he has like clips going back to 2022, like, pumping his tires. So him coming here is a dream come true for him. Yeah. Be cool to see him with like someone like Merkulov or again Patra. But yeah, no, crafty is that's very in line with what I've seen from him. Just a skilled, like great hands, good mind. Because again, when you're that small, if you don't have that, what do you have? Mm-hmm. So we'll see from there. Yeah. So in a couple of games, we'll evaluate the new guys and see how they're doing, and then how it's affected the rest of the team.
Well, we'll be back to do that. In the meantime, follow us on the socials at bearwithme_pod. You follow him at Rob Tocci. You can follow me at Joey Copponi. Thanks for suffering with us.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching these games with us, because my God, if without the community, without Twitter, without knowing other people are doing this, God, would it be hard? It's going to be hard anyway, but we're going to be hard together. Thanks for being hard with us. Thanks for,
bearing with me. Bear with we.